Welcome back. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Hope everyone's doing awesome. I've been skating the CHIHIRO 909 and let's talk about it. So CHIHIRO is the first female skater to get a pro boot from them skates. And I must say, it looks pretty damn sick. CHIHIRO is personally one of my favorite female skaters. She would be in my top 3 with China and Victoria. No particular order or anything like that, but they are my personal top 3. So I was pretty stoked to hear that she had her own pro boot on the way, and it's here. Like, well deserved. Go see her edit. I mean, like, she's won countless comps. She's been in bits and pieces of other edits. She's just got steezy as misfits and just low down, styly. She rips, man. She well deserved. Well deserved. Congratulations. If you've watched any other reviews on the 909, it's pretty much the same thing. I've already done a couple of reviews on them. Do I need to do more? So I thought I'd give you a few little more hints and tips, I guess, when getting new skates, especially if you don't already do these kind of things. So yeah, why not? Can't hurt. I personally like to go through all the bolts and screws and tighten them. Some particular ones, say the cuff bolts, I will add extra Loctite. Put that on everything every time you change anything out or whatever. More Loctite, because there's nothing worse than when you lose a screw mid-session or a bolt. It sucks, because that can be game over for the day, and especially if you don't have spare bits and pieces. Whoo, frustrating. Also, personally, when I get new skates, I like to get some pretty hard out sellotape or gaffer tape, preferably, and I personally chuck them on the inside of the receiver end of those cuff bolt receivers. I find with a lot of skates, not just the thems, like a lot of skates, those bolts come through to the other side, and if you don't put some tape of some sort on them, they will end up damaging your liners. Doesn't matter so much if you have, say, just stock liners, no dramas really. But if you have spent hundreds on some nice intuitions or even my fits, definitely worth protecting them a little bit more, just to get more longevity out of it. Also, if you've skated any skates with these before, they tend to move on the inside. They tend to move and kind of get bunched up at the back, which is annoying and frustrating. So I just use tape again, do the whole curly thing, so it's like double-sided. Chuck them back in your boot, bang, they're not moving anywhere. This will solve you a lot of frustration later on. So it's worth doing when you first get any new skate, especially the Loctite, man. And just going through even these screws here, man, for your buckles, all that, go through them, man. And like, yes, you can say quality control, blah blah blah, from manufacturers, blame the actual companies all you want, but when it comes down to it, they don't have control over how the factories come out with the skates. So it's Christmas Eve, and obviously I'm trying to fix up a spot. or create a new one. But now I know earlier I probably said something on the lines that the CHIHIRO 909 is like, or is pretty much the same as any other 909. But I think I've found a slight difference. I believe that this model is slightly more harder in plastic. Now why I say this is because I feel like the boot itself feels a little bit more narrow and the cuff feels slightly more stiff than the usual 909s I've had. It could be just me, I could be wrong, it could be just wearing them in, getting to wear them in. I usually use a VM Intuition in a boot, and every other 909 I have seems fine. But when I have this, say the basement Intuition in the CHIHIRO skate, it does feel slightly more tighter, to the point where it's kind of uncomfortable for me, just because my feet are so wide. Still skateable, but it's just like in the back of my mind. I have since swapped out for my Intuition Premiums, the black liner, which are slightly thinner, and with them in the boot, it feels like how I normally ride a 909 with a VM's Intuition. So the flex in the boot isn't quite the same. I think it's slightly harder. Also on the cuff, and the cuff I usually have it buckled up to a certain point, and I've done this with these skates, but they feel stiffer and they don't feel as flexible as I usually would feel. They don't feel as flexible as they usually would. So I have actually unbuckled them just one more notch, and now it feels like how my usual VM909s feel on my feet, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Any of you actually have watched past videos of mine, reviews, blah blah blah, you will know that I generally love to customize stuff, especially sole plates, and I generally actually skate flat. Now for this experiment or whatever test, I decided to skate some Create Originals, go anti-rocker, mainly because that seems to be the go-to for a lot of pros or amateur pros when it comes to the VM909s. So my favorite skaters, they skate anti-rocker. So for shits and giggles, I thought I'd give it a go. Now because I was skating the Create frames, I didn't really bother changing the sole plates. I generally change sole plates because I skate flat frames. So with flat frames, the groove is usually a lot shallower, and these sole plates are kind of narrow. So with a beefier sole plate, it sticks out a bit more, shallower groove. It's just a nicer like balance point. So you're not having to tweak crazy amounts over. That's why I generally change sole plates. But with the Create Original frames and the original, wow, what are they on version 3 now of the sole plate? I can see why people skate them together. It's very well paired, very well balanced. I see why so many people skate anti-rocker, because it is a lot easier to do grinds. It is, it's be facts, straight up facts. Pretty fun. But I did find when I was skating street, all the cracks and pebbles and everything was definitely a deterrent when it came to skating anti-rocker. I just was not riding over things as well as I usually would, say, skating flat. So that's the trade-off. Like if you're skating nice smooth skate parks, yeah, cool. But if you've got shitty footpaths and roads like we do in New Zealand, because everything's so old and just crappy because we don't have money, then it's not so much fun. It is a little bit more of a workout. Final thoughts. I love the color of the skates. It's probably one of my favorite colors to come out of the range of 909. The other ones would be the Pat Ritter, the brown, and I mean like white, and black. I don't count white and black skates as colors because they're just staples, man. There's nothing like crazy about them. It's not endearing, so it's not controversial. Yeah, congrats, awesome. Hope everyone's doing awesome. Much love, and yeah, until next time, catch up.